She wasn't dressed like a soldier today. No fatigues, no tactical boots, just a black blazer, hair pulled neatly back, and a court-issued visitor sticker wrinkling slightly on her chest. Layla Chambers sat perfectly still in the third row from the front, ankle crossed over knee, hands relaxed on her thighs, fingers lightly steepled. Calm, calculated, alert, her back straight, her eyes forward. She exuded a restrained power that was hard to ignore even in a place where appearances meant everything. The courtroom buzzed with the low murmur of attorneys, clerks, and tired citizens hoping for plea deals and quick dismissals. Layla wasn't here to be noticed. She was here to observe, but she was never invisible. Not truly. At the defendant's table sat her younger brother, Jordan. 21, lanky, nerves radiating off him like heat. He kept glancing back at her like a boy left alone in a strange schoolyard. Each time, she gave a slight nod, small, firm, enough to mean I'm here. I've got you. He needed that. God, he needed it. 2 rows ahead. The prosecutor leaned in toward the arresting officer, whispering something. The officer, Darren Colton, leaned back with an exaggerated chuckle, arms crossed tightly over his overfilled uniform. The sound wasn't loud, but it was meant to travel just far enough to be noticed. Layla narrowed her gaze, just slightly. She knew that type, had seen it overseas, under different flags, in different colors of uniform. Power wasn't the problem. Entitlement was. The judge entered, a sharp rap of the gavel silencing the courtroom. Case number 5872B. The State versus Jordan Chambers. Jordan rose awkwardly, the chains on his wrists rattling loud enough to fill the space. Layla's stomach twisted, but she showed nothing. Defense, call your witness. Her name was called. A ripple passed through the gallery as Layla stood and walked toward the witness stand, moving with the casual precision of someone who knew her own strength intimately. Even the bailiff flinched slightly as she passed, an unconscious reaction to the weight of her presence. Right hand up. Sworn in. Calm. State your name and occupation. Layla Chambers. Petty Officer First Class, United States Navy, SEAL Team 4. The air shifted. A few people sat up straighter. A few murmurs. The prosecutor's smirk flickered. She answered every question crisply, cleanly. She was there to testify that her brother was with her the night of the alleged robbery. She produced travel logs, building security footage, a neighbor's statement. Everything lined up. Jordan hadn't just not committed the crime. He hadn't even been in the same world as it that night. The defense rested. The prosecutor rose for cross-examination. You're trained in close-quarters combat. Yes. Firearms. Explosives? Tactical evasion. Yes. He let it hang there a second too long. Is it part of Navy SEAL training to lie under oath to protect your family? A few gasps. The judge's face twitched, but she said nothing. Layla tilted her head slightly. No, she said coolly. And I haven't lied. The prosecutor pressed harder, questioning the security footage, the neighbor's timing, anything he could poke at. You don't have proof he stayed the whole night, he accused. You're right, Layla said, unbothered. But the burden of proof isn't mine. It's yours. A small murmur of approval from somewhere in the back. The prosecutor's face reddened. Nothing further. He snapped at as she stepped down from the witness box. It happened. Officer Colton, standing far too close to the aisle, stuck his elbow out sharply. It hit Layla's ribcage hard, deliberate, quick enough that it might look like an accident. If you weren't paying attention, but people were paying attention, the courtroom gasped. The bailiff yelled. The judge slammed the gavel. Order. Layla didn't stumble, didn't even flinch. She simply turned, slowly, to face Colton. Her face calm, her eyes cold as Arctic glass. The judge demanded an explanation. He bumped into me, Colton said quickly. He was 2 feet away. The bailiff shot back. Permission to speak freely? Layla asked. The judge nodded. I've been kicked out of planes over war zones, she said, voice measured. I've had IEDs go off 20 feet from my boots. I've buried friends. But I've never, not once, been assaulted by a cop inside a courtroom. The room froze. Your Honor, I request Officer Colton be removed while I finish my testimony. Granted, the judge said immediately. The bailiff moved quickly. Colton resisted, snarling something about protocol, but it didn't matter. As he was escorted past Layla, he leaned in. "This isn't over," he hissed. Without turning her head, without even blinking, she whispered back, "Neither is the war." The courtroom emptied slowly after that, a slow, buzzing mass of whispers and glances. Outside in the hallway, Layla stood quietly against the wall, arms folded. Jordan sat on the bench nearby, hands limp between his knees, his whole body sagging under the invisible weight of injustice. "They're offering me a plea," he mumbled. "Don't you dare," she said sharply. "I don't want to die in there, Layla." "You won't. You don't know that. I know that signing a plea when you're innocent is how they win forever." He pressed his forehead into his hands. Down the hall, a man in a gray suit approached. He moved too smoothly to be a lawyer. "Noah Reeves," he introduced himself quietly. "Internal Affairs." Layla's eyes narrowed. "I know who you are. I saw what happened. And I know what they're going to try to do to you now." Jordan shifted nervously. "They're scrubbing the footage as we speak," Noah said grimly. "If you want a chance at real justice, you'll need proof they can't bury." "I already have it," Layla said. Noah blinked. "You're moving faster than us," he admitted. "But they won't stop. They'll come after you. Hard." She smiled grimly. "Let them try." What followed wasn't just survival. It was war.in. The following days, Layla and Noah moved fast, faster than the system could cover its tracks. They pulled old cases. They tracked witnesses Colton had silenced. They unearthed body cam footage hidden deep within encrypted servers. They found patterns, timelines, command cover-ups, everything. The evidence was enough to burn half the department to the ground. When they leaked it through an underground media platform, the world exploded. The footage of Colton elbowing Layla in open court, followed by leaked tapes of his past assaults, hit every major news outlet within hours. Politicians scrambled. The police chief resigned. An independent investigation was launched. Layla became a symbol, not because she wanted to be, but because she refused to stay silent. But it came at a cost. They came for her in the night, masked men without badges. She was ready. They left broken and limping. But the message was clear: back off or pay. She didn't back off. Instead, she stood outside the courthouse days later, Jordan beside her, and faced the cameras. "You saw the truth," she said. "Now what matters is what you do with it." When Jordan's charges were dropped, it wasn't just a win for them. It was a crack in the wall, a fracture spreading outward. Other families came forward. Other cases reopened. The war wasn't over. It probably never would be. But for the first time, they were fighting back, and the system was bleeding. Late that night, Layla sat alone on her balcony, a cup of coffee cooling beside her. The city stretched out beneath her, buzzing and restless. She thought of every name she carried like a stone in her heart. Every brother, son, friend who didn't get justice. Everyone she fought for now. The war wasn't over, but neither was she. And in that moment, breathing in the cold, clean air of a city beginning to awaken to its own sins, she allowed herself the smallest, fiercest smile, because sometimes surviving isn't enough. Sometimes you have to stand. Sometimes you have to finish it.